We are going to go into the flight simulator, which is right back here.
Let's keep going up to 3,000.
Hey, look what I got. Just came in the mail. It's like Christmas. I ordered something a few days ago for my private pilot license training. We'll add it to the list of things in terms of how much it costs to get your pilot license, because you kind of need one of these. And here it is. And if you're a pilot, you already know what it is. If you're not a pilot like me, you've never heard of this brand before. It's a headset so that I can hear what's going on in the cockpit when you're talking with the engine running. It's got two plugs that plug into the internal system. And this is actually the same one that I've been renting from the flying club. But essentially, if you have 50 hours, which you can easily do getting your pilot's license, and then you have, obviously any flying time afterwards, then it makes sense to buy one of these. Oh, and it's very noise canceling, which is awesome because I can't hear hardly anything. When I first started, you'll notice from some of the early videos that I was a total noob wearing this, and it looks like this. If your microphone looks like this, you're a total noob. I found out it has to be right here centered in between, and then you actually look like a professional pilot. This makes you look like a dweeb. So I'm pretty excited about today. We are not going flying because it's not very nice out and it's been raining all day and thunderstormy. But instead of just staying at home, we are going to go into the flight simulator, which is right back here. So, one in the picture, Nadim again. So we're going to be inside the flight simulator. It's on tracks and looks like the cockpit of a 172. Is that?
So we're gonna load it up and it's gonna look exactly like it.
Yeah, and we're gonna have the visuals of the Ottawa airport, and it's gonna look exactly like we're flying.
It'll feel like it.
It'll feel like we're close enough.
It'll be a bit stiffer here and there, but it should be.
But we're not gonna be able to crash this one. Let me show you on the inside. A little bit dark in here, but this is what the simulator looks like. So I'm all set up for my simulation. It is kind of cool. The only thing that's really different is in here, there's actually a lot more room than there is in the actual Cessna 172. Alright, so I just finished the flight simulator training. I feel like I made a bunch of mistakes this time. I correct and then overcorrect. And the movement should be a lot smaller and a lot smoother. The other problem I think I have is that sometimes it takes me a couple of seconds to find the instrument that I should be looking at depending on what the exercise is. So I'm gonna have to spend a little bit more time memorizing exactly the locations of the instruments, but I think that comes with spending more time. Anyway, it was pretty exciting and just as nerve-wracking as being up in the sky, to be honest. Now it is time for test number 2, the radio operator certificate for aeronautics test Fancy way of saying you gotta know how to use the radio. I can't record the test because it is a government test. I've done a lot of studying, so I should do okay. If I pass, you fill out a form, it gets submitted to Industry Canada, and then it takes a certain amount of time, and then you get your license after that. So passing grade, 70%. All right, I passed my second exam, radio operator certificate. So now, the battery always dies in the middle of my exciting news, but I passed the radio operator certificate exam, which is good for life or as long as you can continue to talk. So I never have to do that exam again. Maybe one more time if I do a marine one, which I'm assuming is a little bit different. Where do I go from here? Next week I'm hoping to do quite a bit of flying again. Back looking at the instrument panel behind me, I would say right now after the 5th lesson, and that was the 4th flight, I had one in the simulator. For takeoff, I'm at about 80% capability. Radio work, I'm at about 50% capability. Landing, I still feel only about 40%. And if you land with 40% capability, you're not landing, that's a crash. So when I think about it, it makes me a little bit disappointed that I haven't picked it up yet. And at the same time, it's really only the 4th time, and you do it one time and the whole process takes, under a minute or 2 minutes by the time you start to do it. So it's really only been 4 or 5 minutes of training on the landing portion. I just wish I was a little bit more comfortable not driving like I'm, doing Mario Kart. So I'm going to be working on that the next time. See you soon. Preparing for today's flight lesson. This is what it's like to be me.